Okay, first thing, minutes, mail correspondence. We have minutes. I'm not quite sure. The September 22, it says revised. Does this just mean the,
Something that was
Whatever-
fixed
whatever
from last
correction.
time.
yeah?
Tanisha's over for Tanisha.
Yes.
Sorry.
Tamika.
Tamika. I was thinking of another person I worked with. This came to mind
Yeah.
for some reason.
Do
Tamika's next.
we have a
door.
secretary?
No, not tonight. She's not
the
available.
select board.
I think it was a minor tweak or minor clarification. I don't think it was anything
Yeah.
substantial.
So I
It's not.
don't think we need to reapprove it.
No, it's just that it's
I
been
think you
done.
did approve it
We
subject to the
approved it
correction.
Subject to the correction.
That's what I thought,
Yes, we
Okay.
did vote on it.
Okay,
I
yeah.
got it on my minute.
Yeah.
Thing.
Okay, so we're onward to,
September 22? No.
Minutes of
excuse
October
me, the
13th.
October 13th.
I looked it over. I did not see anything.
Let's see if I wrote.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes on October 13th.
I'll second that.
Do we have any discussion? Does anybody need more time?
Just give me a quick one. I didn't get a chance to
Yep.
read. I was focusing on other portions of this
Mhm.
meeting for the last 2 days. Oh, good. Business meeting as soon as possible. God bless Tamika. I'm good.
Good. Okay,
Yeah, the life size plan set.
Okay. this is for,
What life size plan on this one? The A&R.
Oh,
Probably be a good idea so I could read it better.
frontage. Spent playing right.
Hey, gentlemen, it's kind of hard to hear you guys.
yeah, I know, we're not addressing much of anything right now.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we had a motion and a second on the minutes,
Correct.
so roll call.
Dick Williams, aye.
Marilyn, I.
Tim Narwhal, aye.
Sean Moore, aye.
Norm Anderson, aye.
Can I just, in here, where it says Sunny Hill Estates,
Mhm.
at the end of the meeting, can we bring it up again about, it's still considered active subdivision?
Okay,
I think we need to discuss something like that for the future,
okay.
what rules and regulations there. All right, good.
Okay, next on the agenda, A&R discussion, Welch had Bessie, new proposal.
Actually, I'm sorry. I gave you the Campbell Street one.
Oh, that's.
I'm
Campbell.
sorry. That's for Campbell Street. We only have what's in the packet for this one.
Okay.
They didn't give us any full size plans.
Yeah. All we gotta do is find it. Okay, is Julian there?
Yes, I am. Hi, how's everybody doing?
Doing okay.
Pretty good.
So you want to explain a little bit about,
Okay, this is Mike Gasparoni's on Campbell
Oh.
Street. Which one are we talking about?
we're doing Welch Ave.
All right, Welch Ave. All right. Okay, what we have is that piece of property that was before us before that the board didn't want to endorse for illusory frontage reasons or whatsoever.
Mhm.
So what I've done is I'm still following your rule, and this, it's not up on the screen, so do you have a copy of the plan in front of you?
Yep,
It's on the screen.
Hold on, I don't see it. I only see the town of Rutland.
Yeah,
But
I don't see it either.
I have one in front of me, but if you guys can see it, I can walk through it.
You don't see this up here?
I don't see it.
Okay, just give me 1 second, please.
oh, the wonders of Zoom.
We see what we want to see here, but the person who's on remotely calling in doesn't see this.
Okay.
Should be just share, right?
I thought it was shared.
It doesn't look like you're sharing your screen right now.
I'm not.
No, so this is connected to the projector, so you all can see the projector.
Okay.
But you have to still share your screen if you want to show the Zoom participants.
Yes, that's what I was. Okay, I didn't do that then. Appropriate. So share. I just want to share what I already have open.
Mm-hmm.
Is now sharing.
No, so if you go back to planning, yeah, you want to share and then click share. Do you have to click on it maybe? On the actual.
Oh, click on application window. I bet that does.
Yeah, there you go. And then share.
And that'll now share what.
Yeah, so you're showing your screen.
So I can toggle back and forth here.
Yes, if you shared your entire screen.
I have this one and then I have this one. Julian, can you just check us real quick? Are you seeing Azalea Way, what you have submitted?
Yes, I see it.
And can you tell me if you see the application for site plan for the next item coming up, solar?
I do.
All right, thank
Site
you.
plan
We
review.
appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right.
again.
That works. All right, so we're all on the same page again. So I'll just start from the, I guess, looking at it from the left, there's a lot, there's big rectangular with a triangular back. We go well over 200 feet of frontage, acre and a half. Then we come towards the Azalea Way, which is labeled as Lot 2 here. And that has along Welch Ave and Azalea Way, 200 feet of frontage, acre and a half. And we jump over to the ones that had the dog legs before. That has 200 feet of frontage on a straight line along Welch Ave. It has a screwy shaped property line, contains an acre and a half, meets the current way zoning allows you to. And I jump over to the next lot, which has 200 feet at the setback line, because in Rutland, if you're on a curve or an angle, you can get your frontage at the setback line, and that's where it is. So these meet your rules and regulations. The old line, I left the old line that goes straight back to Welch Ave, and then you do still have in your files the old plan showing how I had all the houses laid out. So this meets completely the letter of your regulation without any question about illusory frontage.
But Julian, did you go up to see Anita and ask her, the Azalea or whatever, is there a way, is not a street or a way?
It's it's on the maps as a private, like all the other cool sandy beach ways. It's not public, but it's a way in existence prior to the act.
It's not a road though. It's just.
There's a driveway, there's a road that's where the people drive up to get to that house that's on.
Doesn't make any difference.
So
I don't see
what,
that.
what rule is that fall under?
I mean, I thought it had to be.
A way in
road.
existence.
Yeah, and that's actually the language from the law. Not
It's,
even
it's right on the form, actually, right on the Form A.
from our regulations.
So I'm just not to interrupt you guys, but I think Bonnie would be very happy to go back with the other Form A, which doesn't have that triangular angle thing, because that's doesn't make the lot very, very nice. We can work around it, but we'd rather go with the square lots. And I still believe there is no illusory frontage on this because I can get to the lots from a paved road. But here's an option to see, so you guys can make a decision. This does work. The other plan's better. A little squarer.
Okay, Azalea Way was something that was formed around the time of Cool Sandy Beach, I'm assuming.
Correct.
And that was before zoning.
Before zoning, okay.
Yeah.
So it is a way that was in existence before zoning. The other one is pretty squirrely looking.
It has, yeah,
But
You
yeah.
talking about lot 4, Norm?
See, I have a problem with, you're calling it 200-foot setback. How can it be a setback at the apex of the triangle? I'm confused on that. That dotted line? If the lot line is on the side where it's 127.97 and it's set back, how's that considered a setback?
30, it's 30 feet off the street. And then over there, you have a 20-foot side setback, but that's a sideline. That's no longer, that's the setback from the street. I can't have any building closer to the street than that line because that's where the street is. And then it goes to the side yard.
Yeah, but that's, you know what, I'm not the expert at this. I'm just saying that dotted line from the lot line is not, because I thought setbacks were from lot lines.
no. Setback is also from the road.
Yeah, but that setback on that, all right, again, I don't, it's a 30-foot setback from somebody else's property. It's not 30 feet setback from the existing property. There's one of my problems. So, no, I don't know. To me, this is another one of these questions where I'm not the expert. That's why I have an attorney. I mean, I'll buy the Azalea Way. That was a big question for me because I really wasn't buying it because it's not a road. I mean, it's a driveway, but
Just like all the other roads in Cool Sandy
yeah,
Beach.
no, Julian, I'm walking away from that one. I'm okay with that one, but
Yeah.
the other one, I'm not really buying it. And is there?
It's the way your regulations, it's a front setback line, so it's measured at the setback line. It's going to be 200 feet wide from the street. So I don't know how else we could depict it. I guess we could go that triangular piece that I'm cutting into, it would go, instead of going to that corner, it would come 20 feet closer to the, what bearing is that?
That's the septic and grading easement. What
The
is that?
septic and, yeah, septic and grading, because the way it's set up, I have this all set up from the other plan, which I thought met the rules. That's where the septic system's going for lot number 3. So when we're done, there's going to be an easement there for the septic for lot 3, but they're not going to own the land right there. Lot 4 owns that piece of triangle.
That's hard for me to buy too, but
Well, it's hard for you to buy, but it's what's allowed. I've got those all over the place.
somebody else's septic system on somebody else's property. I can't believe the Board of Health would allow that.
It's allowed. It's an allowed thing to do, and it's Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
The subdivision
That's a-
across from Treasure Valley,
Yeah, Deer Run.
Deer Run. There is one of those there.
All right. I'd still just want to ask Amy about this setback with only 10 or 5 feet of actual property setback, even though it's from the road, but it's somebody else's property it's being set back from. That's where I'm
It's 30 feet from the road. That's the front setback of the line. You don't want any houses closer to the road than 30 feet. That's why they did it that way. And
Yeah,
they want
that's
the lot to be that wide at so that.
Julian, I understand. It's just you're using the setback of somebody else's
I'm
property.
completely using it in advantage of this piece of property. You're absolutely right. We've had this discussion for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is change the way the regulations written.
Well,
I
that's,
mean, I've had quite a few of these come in like that, and I like the first plan way better. They got tons of frontage and we're being told you can't use it, so
Dave, do you have the reg right there?
Yeah, I have the frontage definition. I'll just read the whole thing. So frontage as
Hey,
required.
Dave, I'm sorry, Dave. Clee sent me a text message saying he's been trying to get into the meeting.
Yeah, well, his item hasn't started yet, so
Oh, okay, but this is an open meeting, so
I'm
I
not
don't
able
know.
to see it.
Do you want me to have him call Norm or call you? 'Cause I'm at my house.
We haven't taken anything for Brice Lemon. We're trying to toggle back and forth between multiple screens to let people in. Let's take care of this first and then let me do that. So
Okay.
frontage definition, frontage as regarded in this bylaw shall be determined as a distance measured along the street line of the front of a lot area from one side line of the lot to the other. In the case of a lot fronting on a curve or angle point in the street, the distance shall be measured from one sideline of a lot to the other along the line which marks the minimum required front setback of a dwelling on such lot. So it's frontage. So your curve is from the frontage,
Yeah. That's
where you
what I'm
get your
getting.
30 feet back from the frontage and the curve. So I think the question is whether you have, what your frontage seems to break.
Yeah, and see, that's what I was getting at, David. It looks like I have no problem with that curve being part of the 30 feet, but then the rest of that triangle seems outside of it. That's where I don't buy it. But again, I'm not the expert. If this is, that's what we pay a land court attorney to tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Well,
We should just have them there full time, Tim. They
What's
seem-
that?
You should just have the lawyer sitting there full time
Yeah.
every time we have a meeting, because it doesn't seem that.
Sorry, I mean, then
We
don't.
I mean, it is what it is.
I guess I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to say that's the way towns work. They've got to have their.
That's not how it's been working, but that's all right.
Really? So Holden has all their attorneys on site for every meeting.
No, they go by the plan that's submitted, that's stamped by a registered land surveyor that says they believe that this follows the law. And we've got other projects we've done in town that are very similar. So every move we make lately has to go to town council. I mean, that's fine. I get paid by the hour, so I'm all for it.
Wow.
Because to me, right now, it's too bad. I'd like to say to Bonnie, I see that you own the property in the back, which is the swamp. It is too bad that she could not add to the property behind and then make that in an estate lot.
Oh, and then the other ones would have enough frontage.
Then, right.
So why don't we suggest that to her? Then all this hullabaloo goes away.
What? So you're gonna make her go through a special permit for something that she doesn't need? I mean, that's probably the way we'll end up going, but there's another expense, another set of hearings, a whole nother ballgame. And when it meets the letter of the law, why do we need to go for a special permit? But that's the route we'll go. That's where we'll go. We could definitely do it that way, but it's another obstacle for her to jump. I wanted to have you guys realize that your laws allow this as they're written today. So
I don't agree, but that's why.
See, I've never in my life seen anything. I've seen curves
Yeah.
and what you're talking about setbacks on that. But as far as the frontage, it still has to be on the road.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, Dick. So I have no
Yeah.
problem with that curve and the setback there, but when it goes that smaller triangle, that's where I disagree.
Yeah.
we do have frontage on the road. We've got over 108 feet. That's where it kicks off. So that's where the whole illusory frontage situation came up, that we didn't have it, which is obvious we did have it. We do have it. I mean, if you want to look, if we could look at it again as the plan, the first one that you have on the screen now, Bonnie would be more than happy to go back to that. And that's almost what the estate lot's going to look like. I mean, if you want to add land to it, you know, instead of a 50-foot strip, I'll give it a 100-foot strip. She doesn't care. She's got 100 acres out there. The key is the spots where the houses we've already done the perks. They all fit and they fan very nicely. They're not on top of each other as the sketch that I gave you guys shows. That would work. But if it doesn't, then this is the other option. And the third option was going to an estate lot, but that's up to Bonnie whether she wants to go through the special permit process.
Okay, rest of the board here, do you think it's necessary to send this out to legal counsel?
This is the first time I've seen anything like this. This is not the way that I was, thought it was supposed to be.
Is that a yes or a no?
Legal, yes.
Marilyn?
Dick,
Well, I was,
did you say yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't feel that I have enough of an understanding of this triangle business to give a recommendation, and I would certainly agree with the going to the lawyer.
Julian, is it acceptable to you for us to send this to legal counsel for an opinion?
That's, you guys are paying for it. I don't think Bonnie has a problem with that. Just so that you do know, you guys have signed, this board, this group has signed a plan that has a similar situation of the frontage being fanned off and a lot being created.
Where?
On Route 56, Palmagussit Road, Edson Pond.
yeah, but Julian, isn't that where we stopped all the illusory projects?
No, that's where you change making the dog legs, not allowing dog legs to come around and create lots with frontage completely opposite the side of where the road is. That one had frontage on 56, but the house is being built off of Campbell Street. I understand that. This one isn't that way. This one is frontage is on Welch Ave and it's being built on Welch Ave. 45 feet off of Welch Ave is where the house is gonna go. So that was quite a bit different. But it is the same idea of a small amount of frontage and then a fan of at the setback. But that's if you want to send it off to them and let them, that's fine. This was just for discussion anyway, so that's why it's not a Mylar that we submitted. We just wanted to use this for discussion. So there's no problem with that. You want to send it off to them and get their opinion? I already know what their opinion is going to be, but that's okay. You can go through the motion.
Okay, Norm, I guess my big thing with going to Amy is I've not seen anything like this, at least that I remember. If she says that Julian is correct, then great. We'll remember that. It's what I don't want to get into is we signed this, it becomes a precedent, and we were wrong. That's what I want to avoid.
No, I get what you're saying. If I may through the chair, Norm, I get what you're saying, Tim. If we're going to get Amy to give her opinion, I would kind of like to, because I would kind of like to have her opinion on the old map as well, because I agreed to that map. I went on record and said that I endorsed it because even though it wraps around the property, all the frontage was on Welch Ave. I mean, I didn't think that this project, that the previous project, even though it looked similar to the one that was on Palmagussit and Campbell, that whole aspect of what we came up with, the no illusory lines, even though it looked like it wasn't, because the house number was on one street, the frontage was on the other. That prior one, everything is on Welch Ave. I don't know about the triangle either, so I'm leery to endorse this one because I don't know what you guys are saying on it. I'm willing to go back to the other one because I thought it met. But if we're going to ask her opinion on one, I'd like to get the opinion on both.
Dave, you got that email from her, correct? That she gave an opinion so you can forward to Sean if he doesn't have it?
We have an opinion on this one.
Yeah,
On this one here?
No, on the
No,
old.
in the old one.
This is the old one,
that's
Yeah.
the old one right there.
Yeah,
This
you
is
have an
the-
opinion already on the new one?
and this is the new one.
I'm willing to
No.
bet. We have approved lots like this. Roadway is on the curve, but the frontage right here was, say, 190, but at the setback, it was 200. Now, the only thing that is different here is that this angle that it's going out is much steeper.
Well, it's perfect. It's not perpendicular to the
Okay.
frontage either. See, this is perpendicular to the frontage as
Yeah,
a definition
yeah,
of frontage.
Yeah,
That's the only thing, and it,
but regardless, that 30-foot, whether it goes here or there, it doesn't make any difference.
yeah, it's just, I- it's just, and if she says that, that Julian's correct, I'm glad
Yeah.
for her. And then we just
Okay.
move on and we put that in our
Yeah.
bank as, I just don't, what I'm afraid of is we approve this and somewhere down the road, we sent it before and it's at precedent and we're backed into a corner. I just don't want that to happen. Because I'm with Dick, I don't remember seeing anything like this. What you showed me, Norm, I agree with, I've seen that.
Yeah, and it's just, that this is much more exaggerated.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. Do I have a motion to send this plan off to town council?
Also move.
Second,
Any discussion? Roll call in favor.
Dick Williams, aye.
Marilyn Sedoti, aye.
Jim Norwald, aye.
Norm Anderson, aye. Sean?
Moore, aye.
Okay. Okay, onwards.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry.
I just was gonna say, keep it, that decision that Norm or Dave you got, could you guys forward that to Sean, just if he doesn't have it?
I believe that was distributed previously on your prior package.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want,
Yeah,
Okay, I just,
Okay.
all right, Sean, I just wanna make sure you could look at it and read it, because I remember seeing it in one of the packets that we had. I don't know if it was October 3rd or September 27th.
one of those.
okay.
Okay. I would like to break in for one moment, please.
Yeah.
I just got this message and I think it's a good idea, and especially you, Dave. Rutland Master Plan funding. I wanted to share some news. If you haven't already heard, the EEA proposal was funded at $40,000 for several chapters of your master plan update. We submitted 7 applications and all were awarded. So
Okay.
Rutland's been awarded grant to start with the master plan.
Excellent.
Okay.
That's,
Get
that's,
that charter started.
Awesome, that's right.
Okay. At this point, do we want to take something out of order?
that's what I was just gonna remind you and the
Yeah,
rest of the
we're
board is that there was a hearing scheduled for 7:50,
Mhm.
specifically one hearing. The other one's a meeting, so just so you're aware of it, I do believe the applicant is here for the solar and
Solar. Okay, let's take this out of order. Anybody have any trouble with us going to item 9?
No.
I think
No.
this will probably be brief.
I do. I gotta sit through that. I'm before.
Yes, you do.
I don't feel the love, man.
Okay, who do we have?
Complaining. Me.
Jeff Brandt, Rennie Feldman at least, maybe a few other people who I don't recognize here. Let me ask them to unmute. It made a request for Jeff to unmute. Jeff Brandt, if you're out there, please unmute. Your item is up. Rennie Feldman, your item is up.
Yeah, hey everyone, good evening. This is Rennie Friedman with Soul Systems. We're the applicant here. And I know Jeff Brandt with TRC, who is the engineer for this project, civil environmental engineer. He is on the call. Maybe he's having trouble finding the unmute button, but he is on the call as well. Jeff, are you able to unmute here? Let's see. Let me send him a text real quick, but I can get started in the interim.
No, I don't think so. This is the first time.
The reason you had it before was the project was introduced to the board
Yeah.
Right.
to authorize funding through the consulting engineer. No hearing has been opened.
Okay. So we have participants. Let's open this public hearing for a large-scale ground-mounted solar facility at Zero Wheeler Road, across from 45 Wheeler Road, and Zero Central Tree Road, across from 62 Central Tree Road. Wow. And in the interest of time, just to let everyone know what has happened at this point, we have received the application. I think the application has been deemed to be complete. We sent the plans off to our consulting engineers. They issued a report with some findings of a number of, pretty substantial number of corrections that need to be made to it. To the best of our knowledge, we have not received a response to that report from the applicant. Is that correct?
Yes, as far as we are aware, we have not received feedback from the applicant regarding what the consulting engineer drafted in its report.
We'd like some comment to that.
Yeah. Do we have a comment on that?
I know Jeff Brandt with TRC, they received the comments. I'm hoping he can chime in here. I'm not sure exactly where they're at with addressing all the comments from the third party. I do know that they received them and they're working on them now. I just sent him a text. Apologies, he's not on yet.
You've got an echo back.
Trying
They're all breaking.
The Jeff Brand received this information via email from Quinn Engineering through a comment dated October 15th, 2020.
So do you guys have those? And because it looks like a lot of these are just calculation and interpretation redos. Did you get those comments and
Yeah,
are working on?
This is Jeff Brandt. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so we did receive those and we're going through them. Some of them are dependent on doing an infiltration analysis, but we need some more time to go through and finish the studies.
I just wanted, my concern is that you're working with Carl Hallgren to get these resolved, because that's typically how we work through these.
Yeah. Yeah, so
So
we have them and our engineers are looking at them.
All right, are they in touch with Carl, or have they been in touch with him to give him, I use the word heads up that you're working on the calculations? What we're trying to do is not get this to fall through the cracks.
Mm-hmm. We can give them a status update. Yeah.
That's what I was basically looking for.
Okay.
So he knows you guys are working on it and understand everybody's busy, but at least that you guys are working on it. That's pretty much all I was looking for.
Okay, do you feel it would be reasonable for us to just continue this public hearing until we do get another reply from Kyle Hulkern at Quinn Engineering?
Was that a question for the applicant?
Yes.
I believe so, unless we can talk about other issues too, if you want. We can talk about the project and introduce you to it.
So, does anyone else here have anything else they want to discuss before we get that out of the way?
I want to get the Carl issue out, and then we can move forward, because these were pretty significant.
Yeah. So,
And to me, it's the highest point in Rutland. Rice Hill is the highest point. It's all downhill. So what are they worried about storm water is beyond me. I can see where the soils of it can handle, accumulation of amount of water, but
Yeah, so just to, give you our view of it, we feel like we comply with the stormwater regs, and there are some good points you brought up, but we've designed the facility so there'll be no net increase in stormwater flow off-site. And we have a well-engineered detention basin, but there's just a bunch of calculations we need to kind of go through and finish up.
Mhm.
I just dot the i's and crossing the t's. That's
Yeah.
what Carl does
Yeah.
for us.
Is there a
And
point that I can ask a question? I just joined the meeting.
Yes,
Oh, hi, my name is Nancy Gingras, and I own the property at 45 Wheeler Road. And a couple of concerns that I had about the solar farm, and so one of which is being is the runoff, that the runoff going down the hill towards Wachusett Street, right now, that area gets washed out a lot, and I'm worried about if there aren't any trees there to absorb the water, what impact will that have? Secondly, there are a lot of lady slippers in that area. I know, that over the years, I've lived there since 1995, I believe I moved in over there. My daughters and I would go over there, we'd go lady slipper hunting. And I know that they are, an endangered, flora. They live up to 50 years. Sometimes it takes them 16 years to blossom, and we go over there frequently. There is other things called these little jack-in-the-pulpit, plants that we've witnessed over there, as well as little salamanders and stuff. And I'm just wondering about, the impact that this will have on all of that. And I was wondering if, there has been an arborist or a florist or, somebody who has been, consulted on, on those things, as well as like little tree frogs, et cetera. So I didn't know if there were any reports or any research done on that.
Yep, so
Dave, it's bandwidth is,
this is Jeff Grant, can I answer that?
I know what's going on.
Yep.
It's bandwidth.
Okay, so
You got
we,
bandwidth problems.
we consulted with Massachusetts Natural Heritage Program to assess the presence of endangered species and rare plants, and there are none in that area. And we've also had a botanist who's on the line too, wetland scientist Maria Furstenberg, who looked at the site, and so we don't think there are issues in that respect for rare or plants of concern.
Is there any way to put that answer in the chat, because I'm having a hard time hearing what the answer was? I mean, I know that there are definitely lady slippers over there. Like I said, it's right across the street from my house, and I walk over there and I see them, frequently. In addition to little salamanders, et cetera. I may have pictures from over the years with my kids, but again, I'm sorry for the for the questions, but if you could put them in the chat, your answers to them, I can't really hear what the response was.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
I can hear a little bit better now, yeah.
Okay, sorry, must be closer to my computer. So just to repeat, I don't think I can do this too well in the chat right now, but TRC did consult with the state agency in charge of rare plants and rare endangered species. And we sent information about the facility and our proposed project and impacts, and they reviewed it and had no issues with the project in terms of rare plants. And our wetland biologist also was out there and didn't see any rare plants that I know of. So,
So who were the people that you consulted on this? I mean, did they not see them? I mean, is that the issue, that they don't think that they exist over there?
I'm not sure if they're actually a state listed species of concern or endangered species, but they're not on the list of rare plants in Massachusetts. I mean, there were none on site that were on that.
Correct.
Okay, so, well, I mean, I think that's two different questions, or two different points, is that I do believe that they are considered a rare species. Just a little bit of the cursory, research that I have done on that. And I'm sorry, can you just tell me again who the agency was that filed this report? or did this
So,
report?
so we consulted with the Massachusetts Natural Heritage and Endangered Species Program. And they're in charge of keeping track of all the rare species and rare plants. And developers and people interested in those species consult with them to understand where they're located. And they map these species on polygons on GIS, and you can go and see if they're there and then consult with them to determine what's on your site.
You
So
do
that's,
have a,
that's what we did. It's what developers have to do when they go forward on these projects.
do you have a name of a contact person at this agency for me?
Not on me. I could provide that to the town of Rutland to forward to you.
That would be great. I would appreciate,
Sure.
appreciate that.
You have the address for her.
I don't think we should be getting involved in this. This should go to this Concon, this discussion, because otherwise we're stepping on feet that we shouldn't be involved in. That's my opinion. Anybody? It's not that I don't want to help. It's just the fact that we're stepping on somebody else's feet.
Well, most particularly, I don't believe we have anything in our solar regulations regarding this sort of thing.
No,
It's not strictly the.
and
the
it would be the
mechanical and
Concom for the wetlands or anything else involved in it.
Right. And as far as stormwater is concerned, I believe this as with any other project, they
Yeah.
have to provide calculations showing that there will be no additional runoff
That is
Yeah,
correct.
and-
following construction
Yeah.
of what there is now.
Norm, that's what part of when I was reading Carl's report, that's what he was saying, there were some issues on. He wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that there was no increased runoff. So that's what Carl was trying to get to, and that's why he wanted the calculations redone.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Nancy, we've got our town engineer working with the applicant to make sure that is a true statement on the runoff.
Okay, so and I'm sorry to be like Johnny come lately on this, that, whatever. I may have gotten notices, about this, but whatever, I just don't obviously
Oh,
pay.
it's our first meeting. That's fine. This is our first
Yeah.
open meeting, so you're not late.
Okay, great, thank you. I appreciate that. Everything with, I hate remote, meetings and stuff. I'm a public school teacher and I spend my whole life on Zoom lately and I just having a hard time with it. So who is our town engineer?
We don't have a town engineer, we have a town planner, and that's David George.
Okay, David. And so is he the person that I should be speaking to about my concerns that I have with this?
Dave, I don't want to take this, but wouldn't that be Peter for the Concon questions, or does that come through you? I don't know.
What's the question? Whether or not there are any wetlands or endangered species questions?
Yeah.
That would not be, I don't believe that's in the zoning bylaw for the solar. So that would not be within the purview of this board to evaluate that. I don't know if this needed Conservation Commission approval. I was under the understanding that it did not. If you want to forward your questions, I can forward those on to Jeff Brandt to see if he has an answer for you to the extent that they feel it's part of this proceeding before this board under this bylaw.
Okay, so I'm sorry, what is Jeff's last name?
Actually, if you were to provide this to staff, we would then forward it to the solar company. And then they could answer it if they saw a reason to, if they saw it came under the zoning bylaw or not. Or Jeff, if you'd like to maybe wrap up on this topic.
Yeah, if I may interject, Dave, the Zoom has capability of private message. So if Mr. Brandt wants to just private message her and provide her information, and then that way we can continue on with our.
Actually, we don't have that function set up for this. I think that would be
Okay.
a public records open meeting. Ms. Gingras has communicated with me by email, looking for the particulars of how to access this. I would be glad to forward whatever she has to Jeff Brandt for Jeff Brandt to answer any question he deems appropriate to answer.
That sounds a good idea to me. Yeah, we'd be happy to.
Just as long as you keep you on the stick.
May I just ask, what is the timeline on this?
Yeah, I can probably speak to that. Again, for the record, Rennie Friedman with Soul Systems. We are a solar development financier, owner operator. We are the applicant for this project, the solar developer here. So the timeframe for the project is a bit unknown at this time. And the reason for that is due to the interconnection process. Any solar project that wants to connect to the electric grid has to go through the interconnection process. And this particular project is in an area that's very heavily saturated with solar. And when I say area, it's a pretty big area, not just the town of Rutland, but it encompasses a pretty large part of the state, actually. So this project is actually grouped together with a number of other projects, and National Grid is looking at all the projects as a whole. We've actually been in this interconnection process currently for just under 2 years. We just got the results back of some additional analysis that National Grid has done. It shows that there are extensive interconnection upgrades that will take multiple years to build out in order for this project and the other projects in the area to come online. So the industry right now is working together to try to find a solution, working with National Grid, working with the other developers, with the other companies, where these projects can find a path to move forward. So the reason it's a bit up in the air is that right now, the improvements that National Grid has told us would be needed would take upwards of 5+ years for them to fully engineer and build. But that's only 5 years that clock starts once the improvements are fully funded. And it's kind of unknown how long that part of it would take. So as you can probably see from these timeframes I'm throwing out, there is a worst case scenario where this project is multiple years out. However, we're trying to proactively work together with other developers, with the electric companies, with the DPU, with DOER to try to find ways to shorten that time frame where these projects can safely and efficiently move forward quicker than that. So apologies for the long-winded answer, but I did want to provide some context as to why there's not a definitive time frame that I can go on record saying.
No, I appreciate you taking the time, to answer my questions. And again, I don't know, I just feel like I haven't been aware of things that, been going on. A lot of the, the solar, farms that are popping up, in the area, it's feeling like Rutland is becoming one big solar farm, driving around. Is this connected to the solar farm that's at the end of the street on Wachusett Street and what's being built up around there? Or is
No,
it different?
No, totally separate project.
It's a separate project.
Mhm.
So is it run by a separate company? I guess I don't really know.
Yeah, so Soul Systems was actually awarded this project and another project in the town via an RFP that the town did. So these projects will be built, owned, operated, and maintained by Soul Systems long-term, but they'll be done on town land, and the town will receive lease payments from Soul Systems throughout the life of the project. So there's actually quite a bit of financial revenue that will come into the town through these projects, but Soul System will own the solar system itself.
Okay, and in terms of life expectancy for the solar panels, how long do they last? And in terms of like replacing or recycling, are we going to be looking at, say like 10 years from now, just having this, like this wasteland of solar panels, left all over the place, not just, in Rutland, but in the Wachusett, in the Wachusett region?
Sure, that is an excellent question. So the panels themselves never really die. They get a little tiny bit worse every year. It's like 0.25% every year. They kind of get worse. And right now, I believe that the lease arrangement that we have with the town is for a 20-year lease. And we don't anticipate having to come in and swap out old panels during that 20 years. Certainly if a panel gets damaged due to a weather event or an animal condition or some other kind of unknown event, we'll come in and fix it then. But for the 20-year life of the project, we don't anticipate having to swap out panels just because they've gone bad or gotten old. At the end of that 20 years, there's options if both sides want to extend the lease further. We can do that, and we can use those same exact panels, and they can just stay where they are and keep on going. So because these projects, solar projects, typically have a very long initial lease period or initial, projection for how long the project's going to be operational. Not a lot of projects in the solar industry have kind of reached that endpoint yet. So, but there is a lot of industry focus. There's a lot of companies starting to form about exactly that issue, what to do with these older panels that they're not done, they still work. There's new, more efficient panels that work a lot better, than ones that are 10, 15, 20 years old. And there's a lot of different schools of thought about that. You can certainly take the panels and you can recycle the panels for parts. You can, there's a lot of discussion about maybe taking some panels, little older panels that aren't quite as good efficiency-wise, but they still work fine, and packaging them and sending them to some parts of the world that maybe might not be able to afford or build new solar systems. So there's a lot of focus on it right now, but the panels themselves have materials in them that are valuable, and it's actually the cost. Companies will pay you if you want to get rid of a solar system. They'll pay you to come in and take all the parts because the parts are so valuable.
Okay, thank you. Another consideration that I was wondering if it was taken into account is sort of like the visual impact on the town. I know that I live obviously, in Rutland on Wheeler Road, but I teach out in Spencer, and just driving, out past, the Boy Scout camp and stuff, it really seems to have, sullied, the landscape. Has there been any consideration, into, the visual, impact that it's going to have on the town? And like, how far back are they going to be? Is there going to be any kind of, vegetation or whatever to sort of like, cover it?
Yeah, no, another great question. So the site itself was actually, the piece of property was chosen by the town prior to the RFP. And then we worked with the town to determine the best spot on this piece of property. So taking into account a number of factors, environmental features, terrain, rare and endangered species, and visual impacts are certainly part of that. And there will be an existing buffer of trees that will be kept around the entire site. I'm actually just looking at the plan right now. Off of Wheeler Road, it looks like, Jeff, I don't know if you know off the top of your head the minimum setback we've kept off of Wheeler Road, but it looks like about 30 feet. I guess probably closer to 50 feet once you count the area inside of the fence. That'll be existing trees that will remain. We are only going to clear what we need to build the facility. We're not going to clear extra outside of our fence line just because they might shade the panels if the trees are there. We will keep those trees there. We'll account for their shading on our end. But there is a pretty extensive area of trees that will be left around the entire perimeter of the project.
Has there been any consideration about, offering, solar panels for rooftops for the houses, as opposed to a solar farm, that perhaps, renting, that space. I mean, I don't know what your company does, but, renting that space, because there clearly are a number of houses, throughout Rutland, that, could, support, solar panels upon their, their house. I mean, I don't know how many solar panels are you looking at, in that area, and could, if you, I mean, I don't know if it's let's say it's 100 or even if it's 500, could it be, could you find 5 houses in Rutland to support, like rooftop solar panels as opposed to a solar panel farm of sorts?
Yeah, so Solar Systems doesn't do residential solar. There are plenty of companies out there that do, and I'm sure we'll be more than happy to talk to folks about that. Again, we just responded to the RFP from the town that the town put out, but just to give you an order of magnitude, we're looking at about 20 1,000 individual solar panels on this project. So just to give you some kind of scale there.
All right, well, again, thank you. Thank you for answering my
Question for you.
questions. You know, much to your chagrin, I'm sure. I have to leave because I have a prom that I have to organize. I have another Zoom meeting at 7:30 with a group of teenagers. So I will let you go. If I will contact George, I believe is the gentleman that I spoke to, you know, today via email for any further questions. I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate you, you know, you taking my questions and answering them. So.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I think you said through George, he'll put you in touch with Jeff Brandt, and I'm also happy to talk any other questions that you may have further.
Okay, and I'm sorry, it's Rennie Friedman, and Rennie, to whom do you work for? Who do you?
The company is called Sol Systems, SOL.
Yeah.
Sol Systems. That's the name of the parent company, and then we create, you know, individual project entities for all of our projects. So that's why I think when they had the cover sheet up of the application before, you saw some long name with a lot of numbers and an LLC at the end, but that's owned by Sol Systems, which is the parent company.
All righty, thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and be well.
Thanks, Nancy. You as well.
Rennie, this is Tim Norwald on the planning board. I've got one quick question for you. You said the grid came back with a report, and they were talking until they get funded, there's a 5-year build out for their substation to be able to handle the new solar systems. Was that correct, what I heard?
Everything was correct there, except it's not just the substation itself that's part of it, but they also have to upgrade a lot of the lines that go to the sub.
The feeder lines coming into the sub?
Correct. Yeah. And it's not just because of this project. To give you, again, just an order of magnitude, this project is about 5 megawatts AC. The RDIC project is the same size, so 5 and 5. The total amount of projects that were originally looked at for this project, for this study in terms of megawatts, was like 920 or something like that. So if you think about it that way, the two projects that we're working on in the town are 10 out of like 920. So it's that big of an area and of a project mass that National Grid is trying to incorporate.
Let me ask, for the 920, was that all feeding the South Rutland station?
No. It's in a much larger area. It encompasses a number of towns.
Fund. They're looking at distributing funds for upgrading these different systems. So they've got 920 different areas that they've got to figure out how to fund for upgrades. That's what you were trying to make a point about?
Well, just to kind of, I guess, shed some light on why the analysis is taking as long as it is, and why maybe some of the cost of the improvements and the timing are as big as they are. You know, it's not just because of this project or because of the project for RDIC or even for a couple of other. It's because of, you know, the sheer overall mass and volume of projects that are trying to come online.
I just was trying to get a feel, and I apologize. I'm on the RDIC too, so I'm killing two birds with one stone.
No problem.
It sounds to me like these solar projects are at least 5 years out, minimum, even if they got funded this year.
So there's a potential for that, certainly, but industry is also working collaboratively together, the solar industry, along with the utility companies and DOER and the DPU, to try to see if there's other avenues where it's not going to take 5 years, where it's not going to cost the $100 million, you know, for these upgrades. Whether that's all the projects have to reduce their size by 25%, whether that's can the work be more phased, you know, whether that's the funding can come from another source. So there's a couple different avenues that everyone's trying to work together on to find a solution where hopefully it doesn't take 5 years. Hopefully it doesn't cost $100 million. You know, those are kind of been set as almost like a benchmark for the worst case, and we're trying to get better than that. We don't have anything yet, so it's still the current benchmark, but we are trying to work on
I'm just trying to get a feel for a timeline, and not so much for RDIC, but for, I mean, we've got a couple solar projects in town. So, you know, to Nancy's point, is this something that's going to happen a year, 2 years, 5 years? I'm trying to get a feel.
Yeah, I would love to be able to tell you that we're going to break ground in the spring and be fully built by the end of next year and bring it online. That'd be awesome. I certainly don't think that's going to happen. You know, we're trying to find ways where maybe not spring of 21, maybe spring of 22, maybe spring of 23. We're, you know, out there working on the project. Unfortunately, without having some more answers on the interconnection side of things, I honestly just can't tell you if it's going to be 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. I just don't have that answer. Yeah.
Let me go at this from an engineering standpoint. From your electrical engineer working with the grid, does the systems have capacity right now? Because that's the whole point of giving you a go ahead with your permit from the grid. Is there capacity right now for these solar systems? I guess that's sort of the bottom line.
Not for all of them.
Okay.
For some of them, but not for all of them. And what they've done is, it has typically been kind of like a first come, first serve from the interconnection. You know, the sooner you get your application in, you get put in the queue, and that's how they kind of go through the projects. But they got, you know, when the SMART program, which is what Massachusetts is currently using, you know, to pay for the electricity that the solar facilities output. When that SMART program kind of opened up, the utilities just got a tremendous kind of rush of these applications that came in, and it was somewhat unfeasible for them to keep doing the one at a time. So they had to form these larger groups. So, you know, we may have submitted our application prior to another project in the area, who may have submitted it prior to another one, but we're all kind of lumped as one now from a timing standpoint. So even if there's capacity on the lines and at the substation for some of these projects to come online, it's not a case where the first projects are going to get all of it, and then the other ones are going to be stuck footing the bill. They're looking at everything as kind of one large group.
Okay. Great. Randy, I appreciate your answer to my question. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Do we have anyone else there who wishes to question or comment?
Should we, Norm, push instead of the next meeting, like a month out?
I would kind of think so. So I don't know. Do we have a date for our?
I don't have my calendar on me, but the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month in November, are those two possible meetings,
So,
the 8th or 13th, 12th or something.
The 15th and 29th, I think, are our meetings. It's the second and fourth week, correct?
yeah.
The 15th and, I'm sorry, I'm in December. Ooh, got a little excited. The 10th and the 24th.
What's wrong with December?
Well, maybe you should ask that question of the applicant if they have a
Yeah.
preference. You want to go beyond a month out, or what's your preference?
Does a month for a continue?
Yeah, I mean, I think a month sounds fine, but I'll ask Jeff Brandt. Jeff, do you think that'll be enough time for you to answer the comments that you've gotten from Quinn and from Carl? And I'm going to caveat that because I know we talked about this earlier, and one of the things is the additional infiltration test, which we're not going to do right now. But I guess beyond that, I'm sure that there's other comments out there. Do you think a month sounds reasonable?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. So coming back, I think on the 24th, that'd be great.
November 24th, I'm good with that.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is send out a form requesting you that you request the continuance until the 24th and sign that and send it back.
Okay.
We'll put that in the file.
Very good.
Good.
public hearing until the 24th.
I so move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? In favor, roll call.
Dick Williams, aye.
Marilyn Sedoti, aye.
Tim Narwhal, aye.
Sean Moore, aye.
Norm Anderson, aye. Okay, thank you, everybody.
All right.
Excellent.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for all your help. Tomorrow, me, you can get.
Well, I'll tell you, we do have order, but we don't have times on any of these others. Anybody have a particular preference?
Yeah, Campbell Street, 4A.
Hey, wait a
Well,
minute.
since
I've been sitting around here. Aren't I on this
I was
list?
here before you. You sit back there.
You already had one.
You already had.
Plus, you got all these people from there waiting on here too. Who's muting all?
you want to do Campbell Street?
Let's do the
Yeah.
Campbell Street A&R. It should be,
Oh,
it should be short.
rude again. Rude again. You took that other guy out of order.
No, actually, we didn't.
Oh, yes, you did.
No, he had a 6:50 hearing.
Nah, but that doesn't matter. He's not on the agenda and in the
Okay.
same places. Hey, listen, I've been through this a lot. Yeah, I'm getting hammered over here.
Thank you for understanding, Clee.
I don't understand. I got outvoted.
Let's see if we can make quick work of this.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
we're on
good. I mean, this was just, I talked with David and he got it explained to me, so I'm now, because I was having a heck of a time, Norm, trying to figure this
Figure it
out.
out. Yeah, it took
But
me,
it's just a land
Wow.
change.
that's all it is.
Well, yeah.
Land change.
Yeah.
So what does our special condition say? Does it say anything? What does the deed say?
None of the open space was touched. It's all within the lots that were allotted to the lots.
Right.
So the special permit follows as if they weren't changed. All it is we're taking land from one, putting it to the other. We're not creating anything else other than changing the shape of the lines.
All right, so
So was the special
Show-
permits
show
was
us
for
what-
1 and 5, correct?
No, the special permit was for, let me show you. So this is the plan that was the basis for the special permit.
Yep.
And so I guess this was an open space design option with special permits for 2 common driveways. Is that right, Norm?
Yeah.
So this is what was approved at that time under those permits. And this is,
That one ever happened again.
so this is what they want to do today, is this plan.
So what they're doing is they're taking lot 1 and expanding it and taking away from, they're taking away from lot 5 and making lot 1 bigger.
You have the applicant here, maybe they can speak to this?
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what we're looking to do. Take from lot 1, add to lot 1
Same
from lot
page,
5. Mike owns the house that's shown on there, and he's selling the house. He's gonna build a new house on lot 1, and he wants more land with his new house. That's all this is.
And none of these were,
They were not estate lots.
that's what I was thinking of, Norm.
No,
Thank
This
you.
is an open space plan,
It was an
and none of
So
the
this-
open space has been changed.
Same
That's
thing.
right. Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah. No frontage changes or anything. Yeah.
No,
Motion to approve A&R. No, motion to
Endorsed.
Endorse, yeah.
A&R, thanks.
Do
now
I?
that I know, I'll second that.
I'll second that. Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Dick Williams, aye.
Marilyn Sedoti, aye.
Tim Narwhal, aye.
Sean, you still there? Sean?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Aye.
Norm Anderson, aye.
All right.
Okay, that was.
Thank you.
2A.
Maple Hill, that's the next one.
Okay, Maple Hill Estates.
Oh, good. Finally, you're getting to me.
Hey, you're
Yes.
on.
Yeah, you had me hanging out here forever. The
Oh,
sun
good.
killed me, man.
Hope you had a good nap.
Yeah. So Maple Hill, I sent over the fixed, whatever you call it. We made the adjustments to the, what do you call that thing? Tri-party. And, I was wondering if you guys could, I know I just sent it over to Dave this afternoon, but maybe if you could just both sign the signature page, and as long as he made the changes that they asked. It was very minor changes, but, I was hoping that we could get that thing recorded. It really protects you guys as well,
Mhm.
you know?
Do we have that update? Am I missing?
No, because it just came in today.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Okay. Well, we will take care of it probably as soon as we reasonably can. Like I say, obviously we just got it this afternoon, so we haven't even compared to what Amy had requested for changes. And not that I really want to take up lots and lots of time, but I'm gonna take it.
Oh, I agree with you, Norm. That doesn't make it.
Okay. Do you have a copy of it in front of you?
Me, no, but I can get it.
Okay. If you go to the very last page, the signature page,
Yeah.
Norm's going.
there is a space for signatures for 5 planning board members.
Okay.
If you then go down to the notary section,
Yeah.
the language in the notary section says, there personally appeared the chairman of the Rutland Planning Board, proved to me through satisfactory evidence, blah, 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 to the person whose name is signed and all that kind of nice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All that's saying is it's notarizing that I signed it, not the planning board.
Yeah, it should be members of the planning board is what it probably should say, right, Norm?
Yeah, your attorney probably made me change it, Norm.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
What the hell? I mean, we had it right. We did when we did the one for Brice Estates. We had verbiage in there. She made us take it out. She made us put it in this one. She's crazy. I'm telling you, that law firm is wacko. Anyways,
Well,
I'm happy to fix that any way you want. You want me to put one notary for each person, or how do you want? You know.
We're gonna check with Anita first.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's.
She might just say it's okay the way it is, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Norm, I think ask Anita this, but I think the notary should be notarizing, it should be the members of the planning board, which are the signatures
Mhm.
above.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at another one here that we've got, and it's for the road acceptance, and it says member of Rutland Select Board as aforesaid. So this notary is notarizing the
Mhm.
signatures of the select board. So I think that's wrong.
Okay.
Because it doesn't say chairman here for the select board like it does for the planning board, so. Something's just.
I think I agree with Tim.
Yeah. Personally,
I just said that.
personally, I think both your attorney and ours probably slipped up on this one.
Yeah. No, I guarantee yours probably made me change it, but that's all right.
I'd get some money back from George. Or a good smoke, one of the two.
Yeah. He usually comes the guys off of me.
So you're recommending the following change that he can take care of and then forward it back to us?
Yeah.
Which is what, do you understand what that is, Clea?
Yes.
That's my opinion. I really want Nita to be because she's a town notary. She's the one I trust to be.
Mhm.
I mean,
George might agree with you, might disagree with you, but I'm trying to text him now. But anyways, we'll be on for a while, so.
We?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then I'd say just make it,
We'll trust that George will come up with the correct language,
okay.
get it in there and get it back to us.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, if George agrees, it's members of the planning board,
Mhm.
I'm good with that.
Okay, anything else on
I don't think there's anything else.
Maple Hill?
No, we did not receive any consulting engineer reports, so we don't have anything to offer the board.
Right.
I mean, you guys see, we're building up there now, so it's going good.
Yeah. Okay, next item.
Public meeting? How the heck do we have, oh, public meeting, it's not a public hearing.
No, public meeting, Brice Lemon Subdivision Phase 1 Street Acceptance Request. Just to get everybody up to date, we did a walkthrough yesterday.
Yes.
In some rather hostile weather when you come right down to it, as far as I'm concerned. It's kind of nasty out there.
Sunny and
And
78 where I was.
yeah, we do have I guess I'm going to kind of call it a preliminary report from Quinn Engineering, which I believe we just got today.
Yes. And he doesn't have the as-built reviewed yet.
Yes, and among other things, he has not started reviewing as-built yet. So, at least in part, what we're waiting for is to see how these are getting corrected. And I would assume that a final quick walkthrough to see that they have been.
Yeah, we did most of the paving. We fixed most of the paving issues today.
Mhm.
And Kyle noted we got off those letters that they were looking for. There's not much left on that list.
The certification, Cleve, has been the one that's been hanging out there for, I don't know, months, half a year.
What certification are you talking about, Tim? I'm sorry.
The retaining wall on Woodford Ave.
I sent it to him. I sent it to him quite a while ago. He said he had that. He mentioned he had that yesterday. I can send it to, I think I copied Dave on it. I'm not sure.
Well, this is today at 1:58.
He's talking about the crossings. Now, I sent, Mike Maroney sent over stuff right after we built those, and maybe Kyle didn't get them, but I sent them over to Norm today, but that's already been taken care of.
All right.
They have those. They're all stamped and everything from, structural engineer. Plus, those require building permits, so, the building inspector would have made sure that they were built according to the plan anyway.
Yeah, I'm not seeing what I want to see here. Do we have the Quinn report?
No, all we've got from Carl is just this, and that's it. Is there another? Oh, you mean the report from the Monday walk?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
No,
I have it. We got it today, Norm.
Yeah.
On
Wait
the
a minute. Wait a minute.
Am I missing one? I didn't see it.
No, this is from Dick Nugent. Hold on. I guess. Very, very next.
I saw the correspondence. I read that back and forth, but I didn't see Quinn's Monday morning or Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock walk in. Maybe it.
Is it this? No. Okay. Did we have Quinn's report in our packet?
No,
I thought you did, but I do have one copy of it.
Okay.
I have it on email. You want me to email it to you guys?
That's okay. We have it on the supplementals right here.
Oh, did you give it and I missed it?
I thought I gave it in your packet, so I apologize if you didn't get it.
Oh, you mean this first page?
That's the first page. That's what we have from Clinton.
Okay, but that's not.
It's a pick list. It's not a report.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Norm, we got this. That's this thing right here.
Yeah.
Right there.
So you have it?
Yeah, I've got
I
that
thought
one.
so.
Why am I not finding it?
There's 7, 8 on it at the top.
Anyway.
I got two. I
And
got 2 of these. Man. That's still yours.
I think
Okay,
so.
I talked, well, that could be. I think I talked a little bit
Thank you.
with Clea about this one, the certification. Okay, and what he sent. And like I say, I don't quite understand what is absolutely needed here or whatever. What he sent was 2 documents certifying that the design met Mass Highway standards.
Is that the cut sheet a while back? The cut sheet showing,
I don't know, that might have been part of it, but these were letters
okay.
signed by an engineer. But that's saying that they were designed. That's not what Carl is.
Oh, he's asking
specifically-
for construction for design.
Yeah.
As-built.
Yeah.
Well,
Now, I don't know if that is really necessary or even how you do it.
well, at the time, that's
Well,
what
it'll be
you guys
part of the
asked.
as-built. Of the as-built drawings that's submitted. If there were any changes to the construction methods or materials, that would be noted on the as-bills as part of the standard, if I'm not mistaken. Dave, you can tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm out of bounds.
I would want to get that from Carl.
Okay.
If you need him to be here for a future meeting, we can get him in for that. Or I can follow up with him separately.
That's my understanding. But again, I'm not a building expert, so I'd probably defer to Carl too.
Like I say, and again, I don't know. It's
Yeah, plus, I want to see his interpretation of, have you guys read 29? Because that's what he said on the wall, but those retaining walls, that retaining wall, I gave him what he was looking for on the retaining wall. But those other walls aren't retaining walls. Those are crossings. They hold culverts and they hold bottomless culverts. They're not really retaining walls. They're made to, what you made me do on that is get you a letter from a structural engineer that said they met or exceeded Mass DOT standards, because you didn't want to be owning those. You wanted to make sure that they were going to give you the cherry sheet money on them. That's what I provided you right up front. And that's, and a matter of fact, we had to make changes in the field to make sure that they met the loading, the H20 loading and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure that I've satisfied those conditions. That condition 29, he's reading his retaining walls. And I did give him what he wanted on the retaining wall. I had the design engineer send him a letter saying it was built according to the design. Those other crossings are different. They're structural. More, not that the retaining wall isn't, but those are structural above, not to the side. Anyways,
well,
I think we
see
just
him pretty
yeah, we
pretty
need
easy. So
get a clarification from.
on 29, yeah, Dave, yeah, please. I mean, I'll read it tomorrow myself.
Mhm. So. Okay.
Norm, the big one's the fourth bullet.
Mhm.
That's the
Fourth bullet.
What's the
waiver
fourth bullet?
Escape Island to be addressed.
Yes,
That's the showstopper.
that is the showstopper. And this has been causing me to lose sleep, to be perfectly honest with you. Because it's a lose-lose situation, as far as I am concerned. I do want to just bring up one particular thing. I'm not advocating one way or another what we're supposed to do with this, because I'll tell you, I don't know if I can even keep an objective mind on this whole thing. I don't know if there is such a thing as an objective mind on it. Clee mentioned to me, by the way, he called me this morning, and he mentioned to me Bear Hill. There are 2 cul-de-sacs on Bear Hill. The approved plans for the cul-de-sacs on Bear Hill show planted islands. Guess what? The islands are completely paved over. There is nothing that I could find, at least in a reasonably short amount of time, that in any way references a waiver, an agreement, or anything else on that. Yet the roads were accepted that way.
I don't disagree with you, Norm, on that, but
And like I said, I'm presenting it as an additional fact, and that's all.
yeah.
That's
And
all.
see, I agree with you. I do, that happened. I just don't want to continue mistakes.
Mhm.
And that's my only concern. I don't want to make this
Mhm.
difficult, but I want to dot the i's and cross the t's.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you,
And I mean, I have no problem having a hearing open and closing all in one meeting just to make it official, get it signed, get it added to the conditions as a waiver and be done with it. But I can't buy into its field change. That's the one thing I can't buy into. Because
it's so de minimis, you didn't even notice it on Bear Hill, Tim.
I know, Clea, and
Minimus
I'm
change
I'm just trying to get two wrongs don't make a right, I guess is the
But
phrase
here's
I'm
the
trying
thing.
to get to.
I was forced at Bear Hill when I had to grind off the roads because they sat too long. We ground that and Gary, the DPW director at the time, made us take the island out. And so we did. And we paved over them just like he wanted, which is, by the
He didn't
way,
have the authority.
I know he didn't have the authority, but I'm the guy, I've got, part of the thing is DPW is gonna own those streets, they gotta plow them. Now, the island, just because the islands were designed in them, the planning board has conditions in there that says, first of all, the state law says a de minimis change you guys can make without a public hearing. Second of all, if you want a public hearing, that's fine. If you're gonna say to me, look, we can't recommend the streets be taken because of the island, I'll have a berm machine down there tomorrow morning and I'll put some loam inside, I'll berm it up and I'll put some loam inside it and I'll plant some grass and the island will be in there. And then what's gonna happen is after they take the streets, Joe's gonna have to take it out. It's stupid. Nobody wants the damn thing. You guys don't even want it. What are you making such a big deal out of it for? They don't on Bear Hill. You didn't even know. And I mean, you guys didn't even know. And brought up, it's ridiculous. And Gary, when I was getting the sewer extension permit, he made me sign an agreement, which he made me write, that I would take the island out of the cul-de-sacs.
That is so wrong. It's not even funny.
You can't blame me for doing what everybody wants.
Well, Clea, I'm going to give you a little suggestion, and this is Dorm. This is just how I feel. If you felt that, and me again, I'm too much of a straight shooting engineer. If I was told to do something and I know the guy didn't have the purview to do it, I think I'd have raised my hand and said something. That's just me.
You know something? If he told me to shit green Twinkies, maybe. But the point is, he told me to do something that made sense, and I did. I mean, it's not. In other words, he didn't make a ridiculous comment. He asked me to make something easier for him to maintain and to plow.
Here's the bottom line, Clea. He violated the law.
No way. That's not the law. It's a regulation. It has nothing to do with.
Oh, he violated the law by doing that.
No,
he has no authority to override a Rutland bylaw. He has no authority to do that.
Yeah, but you're talking about an island in a cul-de-sac. I get it. You're not talking about like putting in a 180-degree curve in the road that you can't do. It has nothing to do with the safety of the ways. It's an ornament, for Christ's sake.
Clea, I don't disagree, but then the bylaw or the subdivision bylaws have got to get changed, and I'm fine with that. But I'm just saying right now, those are the rules. We've got to follow the rules.
You want me to put that island in? If you want me to put the island, I'm going to go put the island in, and I'm not going to take it out. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, it's de minimis. You can honestly, if you can't say that that's a de minimis change, what is? It's a dumb curbing around it. It's a curbing. You're talking about taking out some curbing and some loam. I'm gonna go put it in. If you won't recommend the streets, because that's, I'm gonna go put it in, and then Joe can take it out.
Do you know that the warrant closes on Friday? There is no way that Carl's gonna have a report and we can approve it by Friday.
It's already closed.
I don't know what.
Oh, I'm sorry, the warrant's closed.
You
There's
don't
no
approve
way.
it. You don't approve it. The select board does.
Oh, no, 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 no. We
You
have to give
recommend
them a
it.
recommendation before they can
That's
put it
fine.
on.
You can't recommend now? You can recommend right now. What do you want?
Without an as-built? No freaking way, not on my life.
You have an as-built. I gave you an as-built.
And it's not been reviewed. I'm not touching this.
What does that have to do with anything? Have them to review it then. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. He's had that as-built for a long time.
Yeah, we're not ready to make a recommendation yet. Let's put it that way.
You don't have to, you have till the meeting to make a recommendation. You just have to, I mean, I think it's prudent for the Board of Selectmen to lay out the roads, and at the meeting, if you feel this, for some reason you should make a recommendation not to accept the roads. I mean, those roads are perfect. As far as I'm concerned, they're perfect. We got the sidewalks perfect this time. We have no issues we had very, very few issues on that walkthrough yesterday. We did everything the way you guys wanted it. And still, you bust my balls on taking a road. It's crazy. I mean, I have to, because someone didn't do their job, I'm going to plow those streets all winter long and sand them? No, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong to do it that way. I took the time and I made sure that everything was done right all along the way. I did it with everybody looking over my shoulder on purpose. I made sure that everybody who was going to be involved was involved. And there's no reason on God's green earth why those streets shouldn't be taken at this time in the first phase. No reason. And if you tell me you don't want, if it's because you don't have an island, then I'll put an island in.
Hey, if I may interject here and say something, when it comes to islands, I don't like them either because of plowing issues. But I want to ask, who did the walkthrough yesterday? Was this a planning board walkthrough, or I didn't receive any notification about a walkthrough.
It was
I was there. Dick Williams was there. Carl Hulkert was there. Kevin Quinn actually was there.
Okay, was this put out that there was going to be a walkthrough? I mean, or was it just so they wouldn't have a quorum, or?
No, I believe Dave sent out an email, and actually, yeah, I remember him specifically mentioned if any other planning board member wanted to join, to let him know.
Yeah, Dave, I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Hold on a second, Sean. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'm looking myself. You know, I just, I ask, you go up when, I know, Norm, you go on a lot of site walks. I know we're at liberty to do site walks on our own, in which I always agree that there should be at least two people to go on a site walk. If the board's gonna go look at a property, I would like to have notification so I may join. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. This was put out last week.
Yeah, I got it last week, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, it was last Friday at come on, baby. It was October 23rd at 9:33 a.m. It was the third paragraph. The title was Planning Board Meeting 1027 Packet Ready. And third paragraph had mentioned a site walk on Monday, 10/26 at 1 p.m.
Okay.
And Dave asked if any other planning boards and member were going to be there to let him know.
Okay, I mean, I don't doubt it. If it's, last week was a bad week for me. That's what, I mean, the last meeting, 2 weeks ago. But no, okay.
Okay, as long as you're on, what is your thoughts on the island?
On the island? I don't like islands. You know, islands, they go ugly. You know, people don't take care of them. People, you know, they're supposed to be sometimes community projects and people go out and plant flowers. To me, it just becomes a dead spot in the middle of a cul-de-sac where it could be open, where kids can play. You know, it's a plowing issue. I'd rather not see islands in cul-de-sacs.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What I'm looking for is, do you have any thoughts of what to do?
About the island?
Yes.
I don't think you. Yeah, I don't think you should put an island in.
I do. Amy advised us that if we're gonna do
Dick
this,
Williams does, put a 5-foot island in it, period.
Dick,
And if a plow
you
can't
hate
make it around-
islands. What the hell are you talking about?
And if a plow can't make it around that doggone thing, fire him. Doesn't know
just
how to
don't
drive.
Make it around it, it just makes his job a lot harder, that's all. But, and nobody likes them. I mean, nobody takes care of them. They turn into weed beds.
Yeah, I'd rather not see islands. They're ugly.
In the middle, and who cares?
I still say, listen, the DPW director doesn't want it. He's got to plow the roads. Why make his life miserable? And at Bear Hill, they made me take him out, and nobody even noticed. That's how you know, that's how de minimis it is.
I'm not.
No.
If you voted as de minimis change, or if you want me to put him in, just tell me. I'll put him in, but I'm not going to take him out after I put him in.
I see Clee's point, I do.
Oh, I see it. To me, it boils down to we have two choices. We can take Amy Quessel's advice, or we can ignore it.
Ignore it. She's an idiot. Well,
Can't do it.
You know, and again, it's advice.
Could you summarize that advice for me? It seemed like I were a couple of contradictions there, or there were a lot of opinions of advice.
you know, there's some guys here from the neighborhood that are on the meeting. Why don't you ask them what they want?
Saying that this is a significant enough change that we cannot, I don't say we cannot, we should not call it a field change. And she cites, the thing is, there is no written law that
Right.
says this is and this isn't. Okay, there is fuzziness there. Very definitely there's fuzziness there. Okay, but basically she was saying that a field change is usually
Yeah, I got that.
allowed when there are some conditions. Someone wants to put in a wall in a certain place in this ledge, and they need to move it 3 feet one way. You know,
An unexpected event.
unexpected events. And she's saying where this was noted on the plan, but obviously ignored since 2000.
I
Right.
didn't ignore it. They made me take it out.
That this was not unanticipated.
Right, yeah, that's about what I got out of it, but I didn't
But-
see the alternative.
Like I say, the alternative, what she is saying is we have to hold a public hearing to modify the conditions of approval.
Okay,
Okay, he has to get the written consent of
Okay.
every landowner in the subdivision at this point.
right.
And that to me that's just an excessive burden. I really have a problem.
That one, I could, because
But either we take it or we don't. We don't have to take it.
well, then I take it all then. Sorry.
You know,
I'm just,
Thank you. That's basically
So,
my understanding.
yeah. So like I say, to me, the choice is we either take Clee's advice, although he says he's gonna just put in the island anyway. I don't know if that's real or not. To be perfectly honest
I
with you.
promise you, if you won't recommend it, I will put that island in, so you will.
per the drawings, correct?
Absolutely. All I gotta do is put a berm around it. Come look at the one in my yard. All I just gotta do is put an A-berm around it and put some loam in it, put some grass in it, and you got your island. It's nuts. It's crazy. It makes everybody's life miserable and nobody wants them. You guys don't want them. You'd have waived that if they put it on the plan.
Yeah, but see, Clea, this is the learning experience. If
You know
you
what?
knew you needed a waiver, you should have come to the planning board and asked for a waiver before we get to this point.
I didn't know I needed, I didn't think it even mattered. I didn't know it was a regulation. I had no idea. We
Oh,
took
yes,
out
you
Bear
you
Hill-
can't plead ignorance. Get out of here.
I didn't.
You know our subdivision bylaws.
What difference
Come
does
on.
it make if there's an island in the cul-de-sac and all?
Years and I've been live.
I didn't hear you, Tim. I'm sorry.
I said, Clea, you know our bylaws. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't know about islands. I didn't think it mattered. I thought the DPW director.
Well, you
had-
have to because Gary told you you have to do it.
Well, what, Tim, if you want me to put the damn island in, I'll go put it in. It's stupid. It's ridiculous to hold the, Amy's saying to you, look, you make a decision. If you want it, fine. If you don't, I'll get it taken out. But I will tell you this, for the rest of them, I already have the abutters list. I already have the Form C filled out. I will ask for a waiver. But on this one, it's going before the town meeting. And if you guys want to defend it because of it, I'm putting it in and I'm not taking it out. I will have that island done tomorrow. I promise you that island will be done tomorrow. If you won't do it. It'll take me
So all of this is
half a
about
day, but I'll do it.
islands.
Ask the customers. They're on here. Nick Nugent lives right next to him. I see his name on here. Ask him. I think Tyler's
How
right,
do they
doesn't he?
stay with the rules, regulations?
Chris
I
lives
say, put an island in, but I don't know what the drawings call for, what size it is, but to me, a small island, he's got an island.
I don't know about that one, but I know the plans for Bear Hill, I looked at those.
Yeah.
It showed trees planted.
That's what I'm afraid of, Norm. We look at that plan.
Well,
we're gonna see
the trees come, but they come later.
Right.
You don't worry about that.
You don't want to, not the season to plant trees.
And take this thing progress forward, I would say, oh man, put it in.
I don't think you can hear with your AirPods in.
I would make it smaller.
Now that can be a field change.
In a small island.
You're putting the island in, but you're changing the size of it. I've seen
Because
that.
of the plowing situation.
Because of the
yeah.
plowing situation. I could see that as a field change, but you're following the design of the island.
Yeah.
You're just changing the design, or not changing design, changing the size.
Diameter, yeah.
Honestly, this is ridiculous. Tell me whether you want the island or not. I don't think you should. I don't think they should be put there. It was requested to me by the DPW director, whether he didn't have the authority or not. He's the guy that has to plow the damn streets. And it didn't make one snowball's bit of difference at Bear Hill, and nobody even noticed it, including me. It doesn't matter. It's so de minimis, it's not even funny. Make a decision. Make a decision. Take it out of there. Who the hell wants the damn things?
Can I interrupt for a second? I'm sorry. Nick Nugent, 9 Sedona Circle. I'm only interrupting because my name was mentioned by Clee.
Yeah, you live right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to go on record. I can only speak for myself. I do know that there's a handful of other residents. We don't want the islands. I'm not sure whether that matters here or if you still have to go through the process. But if there's a waiver filed or he needs people to, or if Clee needs people to sign off, we don't want the islands. I agree that as someone who drives emergency vehicles for a profession, they don't make sense. And they're unsightly within a year or two. And if you want to consult the residents here or take a poll or get everyone to sign something, I think that'd be something to talk about.
Is it just the residents around the?
No, it's every resident in the
Every
subdivision.
resident.
That's what she recommended.
And
That's
actually,
crazy. She's nuts.
it-
I've
it's-
never heard of that. She's nuts.
would it make any difference if we did get a guarantee of a waiver on all the rest of the islands?
I've already got the abutters list and everything. I'll have that. I'll get that into you tomorrow.
There are how many cul-de-sacs?
6.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
That's a benefit for the town I could consider that a good negotiation. I'm okay with that. Because we're benefiting the town by getting the waiver in, but because it's all part of the, what I'm looking for, plan, wouldn't that have to go through a hearing too?
Oh, yeah, we still have to go through the hearing,
All right.
but it wouldn't have to go through immediately.
Right.
But we could set a
But you
time.
can recommend that the town accept the roads, and then, you know, we can go through the waiver process after. You're not gonna take it off you got plenty of money on the bond right now. Had to go put it in. I'm telling you though, but if you're not gonna recommend it, I'm gonna put them in because I don't wanna follow the streets. Because
And this is my opinion, I'm okay with taking this island out, even though the bylaw says it, if we're getting 2 other phases of documentation and hearings and all that. That's a negotiation. I'm okay with that.
We've got to have a letter
Yes.
from Mr. Blair guaranteeing that he will obtain a waiver, let's say within 90 days.
Of phase 2 and phase 3.
I have the paperwork already filled out. You got me recorded. I'll have Karen bring it up tomorrow. I already ordered the abutters list because Norm, remember you wanted me to do it before. So I already ordered the abutters list.
Because then we'd have to do a hearing and all that stuff.
Oh, we still have to do the hearing.
Yeah.
You still have to get the consent of all of the landowners.
But we're gaining something for the town too. I'm sorry, the gentleman's name that was talking.
Sean,
Yeah, it's a benefit to, DPW, it's a benefit to emergency vehicles. I'm fine with it. And God, if we'd ever have a business meeting, I'd recommend to get rid of the darn thing.
I had it on the thing, the next time we talk about it.
It's gotta go.
It's gotta come out.
Yeah, I agree with
That has
it.
to come out.
We could put it as an option. I don't have a problem with that, but not part of the subdivision bylaw. Because that's the problem with it being in there. That's a design. If you don't get a waiver, you gotta do it.
If you notice the diameter of that cul-de-sac, it is a perfect place for emergency helicopters to land in case they needed to.
Big H.
Yeah.
Never mind that, if I was a kid over there, I'd have street hockey and basketball. I mean, that's just beautiful in there. You can play anything down there.
Hey, kid, go play in the street.
Hey, it worked in the 70s, baby.
Yeah.
I lived.
We did. We played the street.
No, I'm good with that. Do we need a motion for that, or do we just get it recorded?
Absolutely. But I just want to see if there's consensus first. Marilyn?
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Sean?
I'm indifferent.
You're indifferent, okay. So.
I'd rather just say you don't have to do it. I mean.
Well, I want someone else to make the motion.
I'll the troublemaker will make the motion. I'll make a motion that we allow, I apologize, is it Sedona?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sedona Circle Island not to be installed with the conditions that we receive a letter indicating that the rest of the and I apologize,
Others?
is it, well, I was going to say phases. Is it phase 2?
Well, I don't even know. There might be a couple in some of the phases.
Yeah, I was just going to include all the
just the remainder of
the remainder of the subdivision. We receive a request for waiver for the islands, and so process it using the public hearing process to have the waiver approved and discussed in the public.
Within 90?
Within, no, 60 days. I want it done before the end of the year.
I'm bringing it up tomorrow, so I wouldn't worry about it. I got it all ready.
Okay.
Is 60 going to be enough to get a meeting out, or am I pushing that? Should we do 90?
60 is stretching it a little bit.
Is it stretched with the holidays?
Yeah.
Let's do 90. I'll amend that to 90, so it'll take it into January.
So I'm writing the email right now, and I'm going to send it to Dave in about 5 seconds. So what do you want it to say?
He's not working. until tomorrow at 8 o'clock?
That doesn't matter. He's gonna get the email. I'll copy Norm on it.
So
All right, that's my motion.
January 12th and 26th, the days that we have meetings in January.
Well, I'm just saying 90 days because once we get it in, we got to set
Yeah.
the
We
public
don't- we
hearing.
can't set the public hearing date yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to
Okay.
get, it's got to be completed within
So,
90 days.
yeah.
That's, I
So,
guess, my bottom
It
line.
it has to be a request for a modification to the conditions of approval for the subdivision regarding islands in the cul-de-sacs.
Well, that's an amendment, Norm. I think you have to call that an amendment.
Okay,
Yeah,
All right. It was amendment to the order to conditions?
I
amendment.
don't know. No, I don't. Amendment or modification, I'll buy either one.
Okay. So moved.
You
Second,
made the motion.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's freaking 8:30 and I've been up since
Yeah.
4 o'clock, you guys.
And you seconded it?
so do I need to make the motion? I second.
You second, okay. Is there any discussion on the motion? I
This is-
hear it.
This is Sean Mead from 73 Woodside.
Well-
I just have a question. We're so eager to move forward and make this change to this bylaw when we asked for a change to the HOA bylaw previously. And that was shot down, said nothing can be done. It cannot be changed without proper moving forward. But this was pretty easy to change. It seems like over, I don't know, half-hour long discussion. Is there anything that we can do with the HOA to make it move this fast?
Okay, first of all, we need a distinction here between number one, bylaws, number two, subdivision regulations, and number three, approval of a subdivision. Those are three integrated but separate things. Okay, what we are doing here is we are modifying or amending, whatever word you want to use, the approval of the subdivision regulations, or excuse me, of the subdivision conditions of approval. We are not modifying our subdivision regulations, the requirement for filing subdivision. We're just giving a waiver, and we are not changing any bylaws either.
So this was called out as a bylaw from the start and how it can't be changed as a bylaw. I understand that a bylaw is a separate item. But for the HOA, can that be wavered out as well?
Would you repeat that?
Waiver, but they have to agree to it.
Okay, bylaws cannot be waived.
Ah, I'm sorry.
Subdivision regulations can be.
So this wasn't a bylaw.
No, it was not.
Right from the beginning.
Gary did that. I apologize.
And I will admit, sometimes people will get confused. They will
Yep,
say
I made a
bylaw when
mistake.
they do mean regulation, but there is a very distinct difference.
Okay, it sounded pretty confusing when it was being described as a bylaw from the beginning.
Sean, I apologize. That was a mistake on my part. I was frustrated because the DPW chief was wading in where he shouldn't be.
Okay,
That was Gary, not Joe, by the way.
Yes, yeah, it was our previous DPW chief. It's not Joe Buckley by any means. Joe hasn't done that.
Okay, so it's not a bylaw, it's a condition of this.
It's a subdivision regulation for design.
Okay,
I still-
Okay. Are we ready to vote? Is there any further discussion? At all? Of any kind? Sort or form?
This is just for this.
This is just for this. This is just for
Yep.
allowing the non-island with the condition that he guarantees us we're gonna get the waiver.
So we're waiting for the town.
Okay, roll call vote.
Dick Williams, aye.
Marilyn Snowdy, aye.
Tim Narwhal, aye.
I'm just gonna abstain from this motion, so I'll just abstain.
Okay. Norm Anderson, aye. Ha. Do we have anything else regarding
Oh, man,
Brice
there's-
Lemon?
There's emails.
Hmm?
Do we want to talk about all this stuff?
What?
Oh, Dave's inundated me with emails I've been reading on the plane
Well,
from the
residents?
And then
If
there's
you-
George Carizzi's application for the road taking that is using, and unless I'm wrong, his application has drawings that are 6 years out of date.
And may I interject also, please?
I'm listening.
In my opinion, after reading the grant of easements, he failed to put in there easement for the rail trail.
I don't believe it's in phase one, Dick.
That's phase one,
Are you sure?
original plan, phase
Past
one.
that- I think it's past that station. I mean, but it's already on the plan. It's on the approved plan, that easement.
Hmm.
So it's already there.
Yeah, but it's not listed as an easement.
I don't know that, it's in the open space, right?
I'm still here. No, it's in that drainage easement, actually. It falls around that detention pond that's there. So it's definitely not on somebody's property, private property. It's got an easement that it goes through.
So that should be included, correct?
So if they could just add it to the verbiage of the rail trail in the drainage easement. And then it hits the open space, so.
The
it
drainage is, the
nobody can
easement is
go
for the
there.
benefit of
People can't
drainage,
walk.
right, Julian?
What's that?
The easement is for the benefit of the drainage. It's a drainage.
Correct.
easement.
Correct.
We'd have to add that to it. I thought it was on the plan, though.
The original,
Plan,
but
though.
I don't believe it was on any of the other plans. But
I don't
there
think it
again,
is, Clea. I would just have
Okay.
Georgia add and walking trail in the drainage easement. So it's an easement over that land for dual purpose.
And Julian,
Yes,
question for you. Is there any way, once the detention ponds, the subdivision is done, the bankings on that detention pond, can they go down? Because you're not gonna have as much water in there as you are now, the possibility?
no, I don't think so. No, the top of the berm is at the design elevation. That's set for 100-year storm. If you have a flood, that's what holds it back.
That's steep as hell.
And, you know, for
The
both,
water level will not go to that ever, well, once every 100 years, but
Seems to happen
no,
every week.
no.
But what you're looking at isn't indicative of, I mean, first of all, those detention ponds are not in phase one, so nobody's has to worry about taking care, and those are sediment control ponds. They're not detention ponds. When I
At this
built a
point.
detention pond, they're
they're
gonna be
detention ponds
generally,
now, but afterwards they're controlled.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut somebody off if I did.
No, they're called detention ponds now, but later on, they are not.
Later on,
When the subdivision is.
They're sediment ponds now. They're then going to be detention ponds.
like their sediment control measures.
All right, anyways, you answered my question because I was hoping that it could be lowered. My discussion with DCR a little bit better, but never mind. All right. Keep that
Okay.
added.
Those detention ponds, they require basically no maintenance. I mean, they're simple. When they're done, they're simple. But Right now, they're nobody's problem but mine, so.
Do we have anything for Brice Lemon?
I'm trying to find out where the heck is 35.
Lot 35?
No, see, the problem I've got is this request for road acceptance.
Yeah.
It states in here to station 35. 35 is past the detention pond and past the rail trail. So I'm confused on how far we're going for phase one for the road. Because if you're talking about phase one, it looks like phase one ends at like station 38 or 38 and a half, if I'm reading my plans correctly, which is before the detention pond. This,
We're
I'm
not,
sorry, the one on Woodside.
yeah, we're not, the detention ponds aren't part of this. They're
But-
not part of, they're not part of it.
So how do you?
Well, how do you draw a line?
Yeah, because if I'm at
And the thing
35
is,
right
it's,
here,
you know,
35
yeah,
is.
the key is the acceptance of the roads.
It's just a
And
roadway.
it's actually up to, I'm gonna say about 30 to 40 feet beyond the entrance to the rail trail.
Yeah, but isn't that phase two? So why would we have a?
No,
That was still phase one.
yeah, yeah. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the detention ponds are in phase two.
I'm confused. I'm looking.
Well,
Because it
I
calls
don't
for a
know.
drainage easement, which is lots
I guess a couple of things that
67.
I kind of have to say that I don't think, I don't think there were lines and coordinates in terms of the land
Okay.
that describe where phase one and phase two begins. For the roadway, yes. Just for the roadway.
Okay.
And I'll be perfectly honest with you. I have said right here a number of times, maybe it's been really wrong, that the detention ponds cannot be in phase one because
I'm
they're
not
also,
asking for those to be taken, guys. They're not even built.
I'm just trying to get George's legal description and the drawings to match up.
It's
That's
a
what I'm
meets and
trying.
bounds description of the street only. That's where we have pavement to. By the way, if I could just change the subject for 1 second, George just called me. The notary page, in order to record that notary, you only need one person. You only need one person on the notary, which is in this case Norm. So that's why she didn't have her change that on the.
You're going to jail, not me.
okay.
So it doesn't have to be members of the board. Only one person has to be notarized. That's it. That's why that's why they did it that way. Okay, I didn't mean to change the subject, but I wanted to say it before I forgot it.
Mhm.
I wonder
Meets and bounds description is of the street only.
Right.
What's this legal description for easements for then? Behind the signatures, it's attached. What purpose does it serve then?
Well, there's easements for the talking about those. There's easements for drainage, different types of drainage facilities.
But if there's nothing going to be a part of the road taking, why is it part of the? See, I'm confused. Because if I'm just going to lay out the ways and means of the roads, why do I care about the easements? And I mean, I could get the easements coming off the road. I have no problem with that. But it's got easements for sewer pumps, drainage. That's all portions that are outside of where the road is. That's from.
Okay, these are all easement, but, for example, number 3A.
Yep.
Specifically lists lots
Yeah,
where those easements are.
yeah.
So for those, yes. They're accepting those easements. And the same thing with B. and
I can't read any further, but I don't see the detention ponds on there.
By the way, I am kind of curious because ugh, looking at, I don't know who that is.
Hello?
Yeah, I don't know. Are you still there?
I'm here, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious. In looking at the actual as-built plans, now you're looking for acceptance of both sewer pump stations, correct?
That's correct.
Doesn't there need to be an as-built plan showing that Main Street sewer pump station?
George described it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about an actual plan showing it.
Because Carl's gonna call it out. When he goes through the as-bills, he's gonna go, where's the sewer pump station for this?
Is there one for the other one, Norm? I didn't see that.
Well, it's part of, yeah, it's on, one of the pages of the as-built.
It shows the actual wet well and all that?
Well, it shows the structure, the building.
Okay, I know that we at least showed what the meets and bounds, described the area around that pump station.
But
That's actually, Julian's on here. Julian, is that something that we did or do we need to do or what? He's not answering. It won't take.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Julian, unmute. Oh. If you,
Go into the back.
I'll have it on there.
I just haven't had time to read this, Norm. That's the frustrating thing. I'm reading this in this meeting, and I'm really not happy about it. Yeah, and I've had it since Friday.
Unfortunately, the thing is, it's selectmen's business, not ours.
Oh, it isn't?
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, then I'll shut up. Okay. Moving right along, I'm waiting for Carl to get me the as-built comments then.
They're the ones that approved this, not us.
Okay. Zip it then, Zippy. I'm sorry for interrupting and taking up your
Well,
time.
there has to be a recommendation made
Yeah.
And then the next steps happen after this.
Suppose it doesn't say we can't review it, but we're not responsible.
Let me ask, and this is just me for knowledge, do they send this out for somebody to look over? Like, oh, man.
Somewhat out.
This document, the granting of easements, do they send it out to legal to look over?
They looked at it for general form and content.
They do? Oh, that's impressive.
I believe Carl's looking at it to make sure there's consistency with the plan.
Okay, that's
and the easements listed on the plan. Isn't that no ordinary practice?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to ask the question to the the board of selectmen chairman.
I honestly, I'm not saying no. I don't recall whether Carl gets a copy of the meets and bounds.
I'm going to go back to our line.
What's the question? Because I think I know the answer.
Yeah.
Amy, last time Amy reviewed the whole thing, And George and Herb made sure and that they had the easements correct. Because you guys used to take the fee, but now you're just taking easement. And it's done through your law firm.
Okay, that just helped me out.
Yeah. I know there's someone who wants to be heard here.
Okay.
Yep. Hello?
I'm asking to unmute.
Yeah,
Nope.
this is Sean Mead from 73 Woodside. Just in regards to the cul-de-sac, it appears in both bylaw and design regulations. And it's section 34 of the bylaw, part D.
Hold on a second, let me get.
Under improvements on the regulations.
Yeah, that would be an open
Cul-de-sac
space.
planting.
Let me Sean, stick with me. I'm getting there right now.
Yep, no problem.
Hello.
Julian, you're back.
Difficulties. What's up?
They're wondering about an as-built for the pump station on Main Street. They said they didn't see it.
An as-built for the pump station. I would have to go back and see if we got that.
Okay.
We definitely got it located. When they talk about as-built, like the inside components and all that.
I don't know. What did you do for the one on the other one on Woodside?
I think it's just the location of it, showing where the well is, where the pipes going in, where the location is.
All right. Well, we got to make sure that we've done that for the other one too. That's all. I just wanted. I wanted to ask you, and I was
Because that's all coming in this phase one, both pump stations, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Open space would probably be in the design scheme.
Yeah, I have that, Tim.
Okay.
It's not a requirement to have a cul-de-sac planting island in the bylaw. It simply says common areas, in parentheses, such as the following, shall be landscaped with deciduous trees. So if you have them, you have to landscape them, but the origin of the requirement comes out of the subdivision rules and regulations.
Yeah, because it just, like you said, it says common areas.
Right.
That's got in parentheses.
So it's
as
just
example.
subdivision rules and regulations that are in play for that particular item.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't remember it in the subdivision. That was my fault for saying bylaw. Oops, shouldn't have said that.
Well, I'm going to ask one more time. Do we have anything else regarding Brice Lemon? Do we have anything left hanging here?
Well, I mean, without Carl's as-built, I'm not moving forward with anything. That's my opinion.
And his report, his completed report.
Yeah. And then we've got questions on here.
And then you need advice from Joe Buckley for those things that pertain to him.
Yeah.
As well, working with Carl.
I don't know if I was supposed to go pick up any food.
I'm going to be honest, one with the
I could be done in an hour.
day and has to be published by the 29th.
That's their problem.
Yeah.
That's their problem.
What I'm saying is that I don't think in 2 weeks we could have all of our. I mean, we're setting I don't know. I'm just, you made a comment to start the process, 2 to 3 months, and here we are again, 2 to 3 weeks, and we're slamming it through. I'm just really tired of this. We missed something.
We just blame COVID.
No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not blaming COVID because we gave I shouldn't say it, we, the planning board and the planner gave out directions on how to execute a street taking, a timeline. And so it's not like it's because of COVID, because we gave that. Anyhow, I'll just shut up.
Um,
62 guy.
You know, if there were a bunch of outstanding issues from Campbell, you know, I'd have. You know,
We don't know that yet. He hasn't looked over the as-bills.
No, he hasn't, and, you know, that's still a possibility.
Yeah.
You know, we are definitely not ready to make a recommendation at this point. Absolutely.
We have to
And
the meeting, you have to the meeting to make a recommendation. I mean, they can, that's what we went through it the last time. They can lay out the roads, but, you know, if there's something significant that you feel should be, that would make the roads not be taken, or the roads shouldn't be taken, then, okay, but I don't think anything on there's any of
Yeah,
real.
but this is my opinion. Our recommendation means nothing if the warrant's on there, because it's up to the town. If the town decides to vote on it, we say no, that doesn't matter.
That's not the case, Tim. And that's what I went through the last time. Let me just correct you, because I go through this in so many towns that I do know the process. So what happens in any of these towns is if it gets to the point, it gets to the town meeting, usually the select board never has a problem laying out the roads. You don't even, most of the time, you don't even go to those meetings, because they just put them on the warrant and then they pull it off if there's something significant. Now, you know, the way the thing was done in Bear Hill was just done all wrong. I mean, but regardless of all of that, there's no real issues here stopping the town from accepting the road that's gonna be anything worthwhile of being an issue. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to do that. Now, if there was something that was, you know, you considered to be a big issue, then yeah, you just pull it off the warrant. You don't let them vote. It doesn't even come up at the hearing, at the meeting. It's happened to me in Holden at least 1,000 times. They just pull it off the warrant, pull it off. They don't even bring it up at town meeting. But that won't be the case here. You're not going to have a problem with these. Everything's done just right.
I really, I've got to see Carl's report. That's.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
But we got to the meeting to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. No use wasting more time. It's 9 o'clock now.
Yeah. So,
Is this report going to be made to the public so the public can see it, or the residents?
it will become part of the public record.
Yeah.
We're not gonna ship it out to everybody.
Okay.
But if someone requests a copy of it, once it is released at the meeting, it's a public record, and whatever the procedures for getting a copy of it are.
It'll probably go in the packet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's right. It will probably go in our planning board packet, which is available online prior to our
Yeah.
meeting.
So does that answer you, Sean?
That was a different person.
Oh, I'm
but-
sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. Can I also address something else too? Because I noticed something on. So my name's George. I live at lot 39R. I do have a drainage easement on my property, also shared with my neighbor, and I've reached out to the Blairs numerous times, and they have yet to fix the drainage easement. There's rocks, there's debris, there's constant flooding. My backyard is literally soaked because the drainage easement is not properly draining.
I thought we fixed that.
Yeah, the last time you guys fixed it, Joe came in and just dumped dirt on the ground, and I had to spend about 4 or 5 hours raking it and seeding it.
That's not Tommy told me he had it all fixed. Yeah,
if you take a walk out there,
I will.
It's soaking wet. Your feet, it's like quicksand.
It's not the French drain must be, because we got a
It's
drain,
not.
it must be clogged.
Yeah, it's not working the way it's supposed to be working.
Okay, because it goes down right from the top of the hill all the way down past your house, and then it comes out the side and ties into the drainage right there.
Yeah, there's a river going through my lot, pretty much, when it rains, and it's literally soaked right now, and it has been.
I'll come down and check that out tomorrow.
All right.
It's not in phase one, you're in phase two. But I'll have Tommy and myself, we'll stop down there and take a look.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's go home.
Who's making dinner?
I don't know.
I hear plates banging.
Do we have anything else? There is a monument thing on the subdivisions.
Yeah, I make a motion to get rid of islands.
I second.
I'll take 30 seconds. Out on our walk, we mentioned that to Carl Holgren, and I think we had left it that the front bounds on the lots were going to be the square concrete ones, and the rear ones could be pipe. He suggested that the bounds that are normally in the subdivision, like the corner of the streets, the place they require either concrete, but the steel rod be used for all of the bounds on the lots.
Oh, makes sense.
Which is that has to be incorporated into the versions. That's why we don't have a version tonight.
Yeah.
I'll have to incorporate that in.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Where were you gonna
If
use
it-
steel rods at?
Said so there's no confusion. So what is a subdivision bound versus what is a property bound?
I like that.
So if there was agreement, then we would make further
I
modification.
don't think we need a motion. Is it just
No.
Just a consensus, yeah.
get her doing?
Okay. That's all that's on our agenda. Anybody have anything else to come before the board?
Yeah, Nick Nugent, Nine Stone Circle, if I could have a minute.
Sure.
I don't know if
Go.
you guys had seen the email I sent to Lower Paradise for forwarding. It was early last week in regards to issues in the neighborhood, phase one. So I'm just looking for, just to get educated a little. I know this is just for road adoption. When would be the time to discuss the pending issues of, things that still need to be done in our opinions, debris in people's lots, trash, construction material. When does that get discussed? Also, if you guys did see that email, were you planning on responding to it or at least addressing it? I know I got a
Nick, I sent
response
it to
from
you.
Clay. Yeah, no, I got your responses, Clay. I'm just looking for theirs.
We're not. This, are we?
What?
This email, is this?
No.
We don't respond.
No. And I don't know, do we have that one that Laura?
You do, and you also have the response
From Cleve.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
seventh,
okay.
top man.
Okay, regarding particularly any debris or anything unfinished on a lot that he has sold, that's between the lot owner and Mr. Blair. We have no authority whatsoever and no control over that sort of thing. If there is stuff like debris that is on, let's say, open space or unsold lots, then Mr. Blair is liable for any liability that material creates. If there's a stack of pipes 15 feet tall and some kids go and play on it and fall off, and it's on his property, he's liable. So I don't know. That answers at least part, I guess, of your question. I don't know.
So does that it does answer part of my question. Thank you. Does the open space that's in phase one, is that being adopted as well?
I can answer that. I believe so.
I'm assuming some is.
Because I know there's some open space behind those like first houses on Woodside on the right.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, where that went out to the 38.5.
Yeah.
It went
See, I don't think I don't think that is delineated anywhere.
Well, it would be part of the as-built requirement to make sure that the plans followed, the open space was there.
It was
And
there. but-
that's it.
but-
That's
but
all. It would be the
all.
trail. If there's any trails through it, the car would document that. And if
Yeah.
they weren't there, but he
Guys,
would
you
just
don't
be,
take, you don't take that. You take a, as you know, on Maple Hill, you take a restriction, a conservation restriction that has to be approved by the Secretary of State's office. That has not, that doesn't go with it automatically, it depends on who we designate. I believe in this case, it was just gonna be a conservation restriction and the town won't accept them, but, so I can't give the open space to the town. Remember, we went through all this with Maple Hill and that conservation restriction up there? The open space is already, I forget, it just goes with the conservation restriction.
when we accepted the
Yeah,
subdivisions.
The town won't take it, I can tell you that. The
Yeah,
town
no,
won't take open space.
Lee, I can answer that for you. It's part of the homeowners association,
There you go.
all the open space.
There you go. Yep, that's right.
But all Carl's gonna do on this is basically, he's gonna look at the as-built plans of phase one, make sure everything matches up. That'll be part of our report.
Yeah.
And then I guess the select board looks over the documentation for accepting the road. We're basically just checking the engineering portion of it.
Yes.
Now,
And I don't think there's any formula, any percentage, anything like this of what part or when open space even then becomes the, let's say, responsibility of the homeowners
I
association.
thought it was, and Clea, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought in the document,
And
the homeowners association doesn't come into play until all phases are complete.
I believe that's correct. Yep.
So it's, the open space is still the developers until the last phase is completed and accepted.
that would be my guess.
That's mine too. I believe that's the case. Yep.
Can we put some sort of rails or guards around there? Because it is pretty steep. The slope is pretty steep and there's a lot of kids around the neighborhood.
Where are you looking? Where are you talking about, George?
The whole thing.
What, the whole
I mean,
neighborhood?
No, the detention pond.
Those aren't detention ponds.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but I can't, I gotta work in there. I can't put a fence up yet. They're not built. Those are just sediment control ponds. I know what you think they are, but we use those to catch silt. That's what those are there for. And, they're in the basic same place and shape that the detention ponds will be eventually, but there's a lot of more work that has to be done. And I can't put,
What about something temporary?
like what? I mean, like a construction fence?
Orange.
Yeah, something.
Like one of those
something
orange
to that.
fences. I'm happy to do that, but that doesn't keep the kids out, I can tell you that. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, just something because there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood and we just don't want.
Yeah, I think we had one there before. I don't know, it must have got ripped down already. But we'll put that up. I'll tell Tommy to have it put up.
Okay.
Oh, just for- no? Okay. I just thought I better ask.
Yes. This is something that we have discussed, Dave and I together a little bit. And that,
No, I don't know about anybody else, but I can't hear you for beans.
Okay, sorry about that. We've discussed between us that Carl should not have to be fielding questions from the homeowners.
Okay.
That's not his job. If he wants to, I suppose, no, we're not gonna stop him. But, that is not a burden that he should have to take on.
Okay.
So. Okay, do we have anything else?
Well, thank you for everything, guys.
Okay, very good.
All right. Great.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, Cleve.
Good night.
Motion for adjournment?
I second that.
That was quick.
Non-debatable.
Any discussion? In favor, roll call.
Dick Williams, aye.
Carolyn Sedoti, aye.
Tim Narwhal, aye.
Sean Moore, aye.
Norm Anderson, aye.
All right.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.